Good morning. I'm Clint Satterfield, Director of Schools for Trousdale County. I wanted to take this time this morning to provide our families with our back to school blueprint. Basically, we wanted to talk about our goals in the development of this blueprint. That first, we want to prioritize the health and safety of our students and staff through the use of social distancing. Social distancing is found to be the best practice in preventing the spread of COVID-19 virus. Secondly, we wanted to get this information out to our parents as early as possible so that they could start making arrangements with child care, work experiences, and those types of things. So our schools will open on schedule on Thursday, July the 30th. We also wanted to be sure that our schedule provided the flexibility that we could instantaneously transition to a distance learning module should the rate of infection spread increase and there be a need to go back to a distance learning module kind of like we had in the spring, or if the virus subsides and we get a vaccine and COVID is eradicated, then we could gradually transition back to a traditional learning module that so much of us have come to know and understand. And lastly, we wanted to be sure that we provided a virtual school learning experience for our families that might be reluctant to return to school for various reasons. So this would be 100% learn from home experience, and we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. And lastly, we wanted to be sure that we were innovative enough that we could provide opportunities to incorporate blended learning strategies and technologies into daily instructional practices to increase the engagement of our students. In considering our reopening plan, we wanted to be sure that we address some important health protocols that we wanted to be sure that our families understood that we would be taking places in our schools each and every day. First, in all of our schools, we will be able to separate our desks 6 foot apart so that all of our students are maintaining social distancing throughout the day. We will ask our students to wear a protective mask when social distancing cannot be adhered, such as the entering and exiting of schools, when they're on school buses, and when they're transitioning between classes. However, when they're in our classrooms, with social distancing, our students there would not be a need for them to wear their mask, which would be very uncomfortable for our students. We also will reinforce with our students and staff constant hand washing, covering their coughs and sneezes, being sure that all our classrooms are provided with an adequate supply of hand sanitizer. Be sure that we keep our classes together in small cohorts throughout the day where possible. We may rotate the teachers in classrooms as opposed to rotating the classes of students. We will be sure that our janitors clean and disinfect high-touch areas such as water fountains, doorknobs, panic buttons throughout the day. We want to be sure that we disinfect all of our buses at the end of each morning and afternoon route. And we also limit non-essential visitors to schools who could aid in the spread of the virus. Beginning on our website this morning at www.tcschools.org, we're providing our community. We'd like for you to review this one-page document that provides a blueprint of our reopening plan. Basically, we are going to run a hybrid or staggered schedule where 50% of our students come on one day, and then we call that, those students will be learning from school, while the other 50% of the students will stay at home. They will be learning from school, and then they will alternate days. We will provide Chromebooks for all of our students in grades 3 through 12. Our teachers are being trained with the use of Google Classroom, and that we'll be using that with all of our students in grades 3 through 12. Therefore, if we have an intermediate closure, then we'll be able to flip to distance learning just overnight. So we're really excited about that. Also, when students are at home, they will be required to learn from home. They will be graded. Those grades will count. They will also be responsible for being in attendance. And we can speak more about that in the coming weeks. But being at home is not a day off. It's learn from home and learn from school days. Basically speaking, just for starters, that if your last name ends in A through J, you would be coming on a Monday, Thursday schedule. That would be, you would be learning from school on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you, and therefore on Tuesdays and Fridays, you would be learning from home. Students whose last names ends in K through Z would be learning from school on Tuesdays and Fridays and learning from home on Mondays and Thursdays. Now we know we'll have to make some adjustments to that because of siblings with different last names, but we want to be sure that all our families in one household come to school and learn together on the same days. Wednesday is kind of like a flex day for all students in grades 6 through 12. That will be a learn from home day. And for students in grades kindergarten through the 5th grade, they can come to school. That will be optional based on the needs of the parents and the needs of the students as well. You will also notice on our chart that our virtual students that stay at home for the full time will be engaged all 5 days, and they will learn from home on each day. Also, our dual enrollment TCAT will have the option of going to school all 5 days, as well as our Vol State dual enrollment. Just for parents to understand that our decision model is basically off of this matrix. You can see on the bottom that state of readiness, and readiness is defined by those health practices such as social distancing, the use of protective masks, hand washing, cleaning and disinfecting of surfaces, educating children and staff about good health practices, temperature screening and contact tracing. The more you implement those, the higher degree of readiness that your school has, and also compared to the rate of spread. I think the low rate of spread defined by the Tennessee Department of Health is 14 days without a reported case in your county. We're not at that place yet. Hopefully we will be. But basically about where we are on the readiness scale and the spread scale, that we're somewhere in the middle on this decision matrix, about a 2, where our reopening blueprint starts is that we will have blended learning on partial days. That's the hybrid piece. And then we will also practice social distancing. As our degree of readiness improves and hopefully the rate of spread lowers, then we could be able to move to a traditional learning model as those situations merit themselves. Lastly, we just wanted to get this blueprint out to our parents early so they can start to make plans for the opening of school on July the 30th. We are in the process of answering specific questions to many other questions that will come up, and providing a guidance document for our community. That will be our Trousdale County Schools reopening plan. We are in the process of developing that to answer those specific questions that you have, and then that will be available to our communities over the next couple of weeks. So again, if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to your principals by their email, or to myself, or to call our office here at 615-374-2193. Thank you for your time and your patience and your understanding. Thank you very much.